Hello and welcome to the Learn How to See Better podcast, the only podcast out there known to actually improve your vision the longer you listen. This is your host, Drew Davis, and I'm glad you've joined me here today. I can't wait to share some great information with you about how to improve your health, wealth, and relationships. So let's get right down to it, shall we? Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Drew, and I want to welcome you back to Learn How to See Better, the podcast that helps you enhance your vision the longer that you listen. And today's episode is going to be about procrastination. And I was going to do this episode a little while back, but I guess I procrastinated and put it off a little bit. But all jokes aside, I think procrastination is one of those topics that everybody is familiar with, right? Because we've all dealt with it at one time or another in our lives. And you start to think about, well, what is it that causes people to procrastinate? Is it really just the fact that you don't want to do something, or is there more to it? And what I found is a lot of times it can be instances where, people say, well, hey, I'm a perfectionist, right? I'm a perfectionist. It's got to be just perfect before it gets going. And that's just a type of procrastination. Because, in the instance that if you're being a perfectionist, then you're constantly saying that, something's either not good enough, so you can't get started. And then that's a barrier to even getting out of the gate, right? So being a perfectionist is not really a good reason to procrastinate, because if you never start, you'll never what? Finish. So that's one that's pretty common as far as procrastination goes. Another one that's very common is somebody trying to figure out how to do something. That's like saying, I was going to go build a custom home, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So it didn't happen, right? And as opposed to focusing on who might be able to help them get a custom home built, they tried to figure out how, and you realize you didn't know how to pour cement or do any kind of roofing or tile work. But again, that's another type of procrastination. I think another type of procrastination comes from just flat out distaste. You just don't want to do something, right? Oh my gosh, I don't want to do my homework. That's why I procrastinated and waited to the final hour. You're just basically delaying the bill. You're delaying the obligation as much as you can. And I think it's important to be able to recognize these different types of procrastination and seeing how they can affect us. Because if you're procrastinating on something that you don't want to do, that you just flat out have no interest or desire, you say, okay, well, what is it that I'm having to do this thing for? Is it homework? Okay, you have to do that because you got to, get your good grades in school, right? Or maybe you're having to do something for work. And there's a scenario we can start to look at, okay, is this something that's really aligned with what I want to have to do? Is this the right type of job for me? Is this just one of those small scale obligatory things I have to do, like a annual report or a monthly report, right? But you want to be able to have a better understanding. You want to be able to see better, what is it that you're having to deal with, especially if you're dealing with procrastination on a regular basis, right? If you're having procrastination with, let's say, a workout routine, chances are you just really don't want to do that workout routine. And the better way to go about that, or to see that situation, would actually be to look at finding a routine that would better suit your personality type. As an example, I didn't like the idea of just running to run. I didn't really like the idea of running on a treadmill as far as cardiovascular training, but I thought basketball was great. Let's go throw the football around, even if it's just playing catch, or getting a skeleton squad to play some flag football or something, or tackle the turkey, as they used to say back in the day. But the point is, it's easy to procrastinate in certain situations where you don't have yourself set up for success. Why would you go to set up a membership at the gym that's 30 miles away? It's going to make it difficult to go, especially if you're going to go after work and end up getting stuck in traffic. So it's identifying the cause of the procrastination that's important to help you see through it. Looking at what I said earlier, if you don't know how to do something and you're spending time trying to figure it out, it's going to be much more productive exercise to figure out who might be able to help you out. who might be able to provide the skills that you're looking for. Let's say if you're a singer or a songwriter and you're looking to, put some music out. Well, you don't necessarily have to know how to compose music necessarily, but you could go find someone that you go buy their sounds, buy their music from them, be able to license their music or collaborate, joint venture, so many different ways. So it's who that could help you, as opposed to worrying about how you necessarily have to do something. So when you look at procrastination, it's about understanding really what the issue is, and just being able to see past it, because more often than not, you can get an understanding for the solution to the problem based on the size of the problem. And if it's something that's a big problem in your world, then chances are, you're going to have to grow, to become bigger than that problem. And you're going to need potentially a solution that's going to make you into a bigger person to get you past that challenge. So as you look at procrastination, it's something that you just want to understand, because you can really outsmart it. It's kind of like the phrase outwitting the devil. You recognize that it's this evil force working against you, generally stopping you, quote unquote, from doing something you need to be doing. So we will tend to blame procrastination. Oh, if it wasn't for all this procrastination, I'd be able to get things done. Well, there's a reason that you're not getting a certain thing done. And as we become adults, it really boils down to people do what they want to do. So if there's something we just don't want to do, we're not going to do it. Or if we feel that, it has to be perfect before we do it, we're probably not going to do it, because we're not going to start on it. And that could be for lack of, belief in the thing that's being created, or, just not thinking that it's worthwhile. But the idea is that to have that belief about the output in advance of the effort initiated to create it, it's a little bit backwards, because you're kind of blocking the opportunity, for a great thing to emerge. So procrastination can definitely be a great hindrance to someone reaching their full potential, because they say the most valuable real estate out there is the real estate in a cemetery, where all of the amazing ideas that never got to see the light of day are buried, and that could have changed the world, right? And to no offense, of course, to any of the deceased that probably are not out there listening to this, the idea being some procrastination was likely, unfortunately, a part of some of those great ideas never reaching the world, because for whatever reason, whether it be this reason or that, that idea didn't get out and reach the world. So for any of you that may have great ideas, great creations within, do not hesitate and waste the time and the opportunity to be able to create. One thing you'll find about procrastination is that the most unfortunate thing it can do is rob you of the moment, and rob you of the opportunity within a moment to capture a great idea. When you have a great idea and you have the opportunity to take action on it, and you procrastinate and you lose the genuine spirit of the momentum that can be generated, that's one of those sad things that may be lost forever with getting an idea off the ground when it's being created. So those are just a couple of ways that I found to help outsmart procrastination. Understanding we all could be a victim to it, or feel like we're encumbered by it at times, but really it can be outsmarted. And we just need to be able to think through what it is that's holding us back, be able to kind of separate ourselves from our situation, learn how to see better, and see what really might be holding us back from taking the action towards that which we actually want. So it's even illogical if you take it and break it down a little bit. So with that, we will go ahead and wrap up this episode. And please have a friend subscribe and share this information if you want to teach someone else how to see better, or be able to continue to enhance your own point of view, perspective, and vision. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.